to a Channeler's Channel. I'm Tracy, your host, and today's episode is our intuitive weekly vlog on Reiki. A much anticipated vlog on Reiki. So if that's what you're here for, please stay tuned. I'll go get Whitehawk in just a moment, but I just like to touch back on our previous vlog, which was our intuitive monthly reading for the month of February 2014, the month of love. If you haven't had an opportunity to listen to it, do, because it's a very enlightening and uplifting monthly reading for February. It seems like all systems will be go, and we will be in the flow, and there will be synchronicity for that which we have desired, and our desired outcomes will occur. So that makes you want to listen to it, doesn't it? So pitter patter, get at her. All right. So Reiki. So if you know or don't know, I'm a Reiki master teacher, which means I'm able to teach Reiki, and master teacher, yeah, I'm able to teach it, which means I'm allowed to pass the attunements to others so that they can become Reiki practitioners. So I just want to give you a tidbit of information. I don't want to teach you Reiki 1, but Reiki was rediscovered back in the 1800s by Dr. Mikao Usui, who went up on Mount Koriyama for 21 days, and because he was interested in what this Reiki is, and he was questioning. He had heard that there were similarities between Jesus's healings and Buddha's healings, and so this became a life study for him. So he went up there to do a fast and a meditation, kind of similar to Jesus, right? It wasn't 40 days, but it was 21 days. And it was only on the last morning of, the twilight time, just before dawn, before he was to come down back off the mountain. He hadn't received any information yet, and it was on that last morning that he would see a bright light coming towards him, and it would hit him in the third eye, and through that he would see the Reiki symbols, and he would bring it forth again into the world. And when he came down off the mountain, the first healing he did, or first miracle, that happened with Reiki, is he treated a little girl who had a toothache, and they had fed him when he came down off the mountain. So there was this exchange of energy, and this is probably an extremely important piece of information. When you're giving Reiki, there must be an exchange of energy in order for it to be deemed valuable. It does not mean it's not valuable, but for me, so say if you're giving it to me and giving it to me free, for me to have the perception that this was really of value, I have to give something in return. So whether in return we barter something or I pay you money, there has to be that exchange in order for the ante of Reiki to go up. Very important piece of information, because everything in life is about perception, right? I mean, why do you buy designer clothes? Why do you buy Anne Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, whomever, Gucci? Because the perception is, wow, this is something. So you're willing to pay that extra money than if you were to go and buy a brand at Walmart or Sears or wherever, right? You pay less money. Therefore, the perception is that it's less quality, it's not as cool. But the reality is, a lot of those things are just as good quality, and a lot of the higher end stuff fall apart too. So it's all about perception, right? Okay. So Reiki 1, when you go in for Reiki 1, as a new student, you come in, you receive all the attunements, thereby allowing you to practice Reiki. You learn all the body hand positions, you learn the self-care positions, and then during that time, you practice them. You practice them and get used to them. And so it's just practice, practice, practice. Then what happens is you get bit, because it becomes an obsession, a love, an addiction, a good love, a good addiction. And you go, yes, I need more of this. But you have to go through a 21-day period before you head into Reiki 2. Now, there are many perceptions in Reiki as to whether you should be able to do Reiki 2 21 days later. Some people feel that you have to get a couple of years in under your belt doing Reiki 1. That seems to be the traditional way. I say go with what's best for you, you know. So then you do Reiki 2. And Reiki 2, you receive symbols. You receive the Chokurei, the say.Like, and the Hon Charge. The Chokurei is your power symbol. In other words, put the power here. If we're going to put the symbol here, we're going to put the power here. If we're going to put the symbol here, we're going to put the power here. More power. The say.Like is your mental emotional healing symbol, which is one of my favorites. And the Hon Charge is the long distance symbol, so thereby allowing you to heal long distance, meaning that the person doesn't have to be in the same vicinity as you. They can be on the other side of the world, they can be in the room, in the hallway or wherever, and you can pass them Reiki. And the mental emotional healing one, why I love it so much is that my belief is that a lot of our physical ailments and disease are rooted in the mental emotional. So if you can heal the mental emotional, you'll heal the physical. Reiki 3. Now I'm just going through these quickly, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot I'm missing. Take Reiki 1, 2, and 3 if you want to learn about it. This is just a vlog. Reiki 3, then you learn the personal mastery symbol, which makes you a Reiki master teacher, which is the Daikomyo, and then you learn the Raku, the Dumo, the Tibetan fire servant, and there are variations depending upon the Reiki master teacher you go to, 1 on the symbols, and 2 perhaps on the amount of symbols you learn. So it's just going to be about the lineage, the person that you choose in the lineage, and what they learned. And that can be a big thing. And again, it's personal choice. Some people believe that to take Reiki 1, 2, and 3, there has to be a certain amount of years between it. Others don't. And I'm of the notion, you know when you're ready. And that saying is, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So that's how I am. And then you have Reiki, from the moment you do Reiki 1, you have Reiki for the rest of your life. And it is such an amazing tool to have in your toolkit for life. Now, then you can go on to Reiki with crystals, Reiki for animals, and there's even higher levels of Reiki now that people have developed and created, and you can go and explore for yourself and get validation whether they're for you or not. Okay, so what would you use Reiki for? Well, you can cleanse spaces. You could, start a business of cleansing homes, just as one would get their house blessed. Cleansing is very much the same way, to get rid of negative, stagnant energies that lay in the area. Self-care, healing others. Those are just a few. So some examples I can share with you of the miracles in my own life with Reiki. The biggest one being, I had a German Shepherd, and his name was Jake, and he was, he's a big guy too. How old was he? We had him till he was 13, and then we had to make the decision to put him down because he had cancer. And you go through this whole process when you find out they have the tumor. You learn all the information about whether you're going to have surgery for them or not, and we just decided not to have the surgery because it would not make his life better, and there was no way they could tell you whether it would prolong his life. So rather than have him not live a quality life for the rest of his life, we made the decision to not have the surgery, because the surgery probably wouldn't prolong it. So I gave him Reiki, and I believed it helped him, and he would always come to me, and for that reason I believed that it was the Reiki. And there was one session I did in particular on his chest, and I laid my hands on. By the way, Reiki is a laying on of hands. I should have said that right off the top. Oops. And I laid my hands on his chest, and I have never felt power go through me like I felt on him. And I felt, well, this was an area in which the Reiki needed to come through to get to the root of his problem. Because maybe the root of his problem wasn't in his chest. Maybe the root of his problem was in his belly. But this was an opening for the Reiki to get through to help heal him. And these are things that you learn in the Reiki courses. And as you practice it, you feel it. And so I laid my hands on him, and the power just came through me. Like, I mean, I was like this. I could feel it. And I just kept my hands there. They were shaking, and I could feel the power going through. And it's my belief that it was that helped prolong his life and give him a better quality of life with relief from perhaps any suffering that would have been there. And that is probably just one of the biggest examples I can give you of its power. Other ways I've used it, I mean, it's just been priceless, invaluable when it came to my children being ill. I never felt helpless because I always had Reiki there. And my children now will come to me when they're not well, whether they have a headache or they have a sore belly, and they'll ask me to lay my hands on them. And then even if I'm lying in bed and I can hear them not breathing well or something, I'll do the long distance symbol and then the chokure, right, the power symbol. And I'll do it long distance wise to help them while they're in bed, to heal that, to calm the cough when nothing else is working, right? Just to calm it so they can sleep and I can sleep. Another way I have used it is to help people transition. I help my dog Jake transition. I help. It's almost like I felt like I was giving, and I'm not a priest, and please don't say that. I'm just saying this is how I felt it was. Like I was giving them their last rites. You know, it helped my dog Jake pass. I felt I had done it on my sister's dog when he was passing. I did it with my father when he passed. And you can see its effects, and anyone who's worked with it knows it, because as a practitioner you can see it when it's going through, not literally with your eyes, but you feel it, right? And then you can see the subtle effects and changes in people's lives as they go on. I've seen where I've done it, and somebody who wasn't able to do what they had to do in life to move forward and get over an obstacle, you give them Reiki, and then all of a sudden they got up and they were able to face that obstacle they needed to get up and over it to move forward. And I know that all seems kind of vague, but practice it, you'll see it. It's just an unbelievable tool to have in your kit for life. All right, so that's as brief as I could be with Reiki, because I absolutely adore it. And otherwise I would be teaching it to you, and that's not what today is all about. All right. Okay, so we're going to go and get my spirit guide Whitehawk, whom I consciously channel to give you readings and insight into such subjects as Reiki. Okay. Indeed. What can one say about Reiki that has not been said a million times before, or written a million times before? And I go, yes, because I forgot to mention that there are thousands of books written on Reiki, thousands. And he says, yes, indeed, there has been. He says, for indeed it is a modality that has withstood the ages, n'est-ce pas? Meaning, has it not? And we're here, and we're nodding. For those of us, and it feels like it's people who know about Reiki, who are practitioners or master teachers. And he says, yes, there are many wise ones who have come to listen to this lesson, he says, or this teaching. There is no doubt that Reiki is an invaluable tool, as this one has said before, but the underpinnings of Reiki are deeper than that. They go much deeper, much subliminally deeper than that. listen intently. It's like he's a professor up there teaching us and we're listening in the classroom. When one lays their hands on an individual, they're allowing the God force energy to come through. N'est-ce pas? And there's no greater force than the God force energy, is there? We all nod our heads like, yes, there is none. Or, or no, there's no heart. No, none. So then, why would no one use it? If it is that available to you, that easily accessible to you, then why does not everybody use it? For everybody has it available to them, n'est-ce pas? For do we not, when we are not well, do we not take our hands and just naturally place them on our belly? Naturally place it on our head when it's not feeling well? Do we not? Do we not naturally place our hands on someone to calm and to console? Do we not? And we're like, yeah, we do. So you see, to lay one's hands on another is as common and as natural as breathing. And so you all ask me, well, why do we need the attunements? And I say, to increase the power, to increase the God force energy is why we need the attunements. For you can stay here, stay small, or you can grow and continually grow with the power of the universe or the God force energy. He says, if you have something as easily and accessible to you as Reiki, why do you not get it? What is it that is so mystical? It is not mystical. Jesus had been healing for years this way. He says other people too had discovered its healing capabilities and have put the energy there, have put the power there, he says, through the use of our hands. There is nothing mystical about children. If we have to break down barriers, it would simply be that. There is nothing mystical about it. It is as natural as it is to breathe, to use Reiki. And so forgive my passion, children, but I am here to simply ask others, to ask people, those people who perhaps are sitting on the fence, hemming and hawing, to get it. Just get it. It is something that is simple to get that will be invaluable for you and yours for years and years to come. And one does not have to be Catholic, one does not have to be Protestant, one does not have to be, as it goes on and on and on and on and on down the line. You do not have to belong to a certain religion, one does not have to belong to a certain spirituality. He says one does not have to belong at all. He says for it to be delivered unto them, one simply has to ask. And so I'm asking you, children, to ask those around you who can pass attunements to you, to give it to you, to indeed ask them to. For then indeed they shall, and it is yours forever and ever. Amen. To pass down to the lineage of your family, of your friends, for years and years to come. So why would you not do it, he says. It is an invaluable tool in our day-to-day life. So please do this unto yourself, children. That is all. God bless. And I know you came here, he says, for a bigger teaching, but it is a simple teaching. Do not complicate things that do not need to be complicated. It is simple. It is as simple as breathing. God bless. So that is Whitehawk's part of the vlog, and it just makes me think that there's so much more I could have told you, right? But you could take a Reiki course and learn it all, because it's all in there for you. So I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog. If you have, please give us a thumbs up or comment. Our next vlog I'm going to do on anxiety, because we seem to be going along the winter blues, depression, anxiety, Reiki. We're kind of going along things that help us through the winter season. So that's why I'm going to do it on anxiety instead of love, which is one that I mentioned previously. Okay, so on Sunday we will see you for our intuitive weekly reading, which provides insight, healings, and teachings, much like the one you kind of seen here today, for your week ahead. So we'll see you on Sunday. Subscribe, it's free. God bless. I'm Tracy. I forgot to mention some books in our Reiki vlog, so I just wanted to quickly mention a couple that I would recommend. Diane Stein, she's well known in the Reiki world. The Essential Reiki, and this one is, if you're going to teach Reiki, this will help you. A Complete Guide to the Ancient Healing Art. So that's why I got this one, so I recommend this one. Another one I love is this William Rand, The Reiki Touch, The Complete Home Learning System, DVD, video, CD, meditations, music CD, 100-page workbook, and 30 illustrated cards. So if you love cards, and this is kind of how it comes, all right, you get your book, here's your cards, here's your CDs, there's a few meditations which I've used, which are wonderful, and some wonderful music, and then the cards, if you're big like me and loving cards, and I do, and you go, oh, I have a headache. What's the best choice for me to use for laying on of hands? Oh, and look, he shows me this one. Can you see it? It's the hand on the head. Isn't that funny how intuition works? Look at that. So it helps you learn about that. And there's different cards. There's on the power symbol. Just really, really good. And the book will tell you even how to do, give you Reiki with eyes, how to perhaps go into past lives. Just really, really, really good. Yeah. So those are a couple. And then the big guy I want to share with you. So when you become a Reiki master teacher, you become the owner of, look at that baby. Look at that baby, right? That's your Reiki Master Teacher Manual. It holds all the information on Reiki passed down to you from your Reiki Master Teacher. So again, it's just going to depend upon your teacher. And then you can add or you can take out information from that and make it your own. And then you pass it forth down to your Reiki lineage students that you make into Reiki Masters and Reiki students. So those are just a few. Another one is another well-known author and advocate of Reiki is Pamela Miles, and I follow her on Twitter and Facebook, and I read her book too, and I found it quite easy as well. But there are thousands, if not probably a million books on Reiki anymore, so feel free to visit Chapters, Indigo, Amazon, wherever, Kohl's, and just have fun with it. All right, that's it for now. I'll send you back to the previous video. Ciao, ciao.